All I got to say to the Gen Z females out there, you need to watch out as far as the advice you get from older women about having relationships. You really, really do. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of them, even I know they're probably your own mothers, are some of the worst ones that they'll give you dating advice. Some of the worst ones. You need to look no further than their lives. Now, if you go with this idea that somehow they're the victims of bad men, y'all need to think again. Y'all have been really indoctrinated with feminism for years because it had been started really years ago, but they really tried to push it in Gen X, and then it's just been getting worse ever since. And at the end of the day, um, if you are a Gen Z female and you have a Gen X mother, I'm telling you, watch out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably not going to get. And again, this is not a broad brush to say all of them. Of course, there's never all of anything. There's usually very few absolutes of anything in this world. So let's just be real before someone makes that dumbass argument that people know if they're being intellectually honest, nobody's making. But the reality is, too many of them have this chauvinistic feminist mentality. And I'm telling you, it didn't work when the boomer women passed that on them, ruined their lives, and ruined their attitudes. And I'm telling you now, going past millennials down to you Gen Zs, you are still young enough to at least make some adjustments. And you better do them now. You need to stop putting your older generation on a pedestal and look at the receipts of what they say and see if it translates into their own life. Look at it from a lot of perspective. Don't listen to them tell you about how your daddy wasn't shit. Now he left you because he left her because he just wants to stick around and all this other stuff. There's always more to the story than what most of them tell you. That's why they always say there's his side, her side, and then there's the truth, right? Which is always in the middle. But most time you don't get to hear the man's side because you got your mama telling you whatever she wants you to believe. And I can tell you, I'll give you an example. This is just a small example. There was a girl, well, she's a woman technically, that worked at a McDonald's that I stopped by one day. That's near where I live. But, there's several McDonald's everywhere you live. But this one was actually probably one of the furthest from where I live. But anyway, because passing through from one state to another, and I will stop at this McDonald's and end up having a conversation with a couple of workers there. And apparently, the mother and the daughter work at this place, but the mother was one of the managers. And me and her daughter, I'd come in there and I'd buy something for, you know, one of the kids or everything, and then we just had a conversation, and we had eye contact, and I started noticing that, yeah, you know what, I have a feeling this girl is yeah, I think there's some interest there. So me and her talked more every once in a while. I stop in there, talk to her, or whatever, and I had a straightforward conversation with her, and I think what ended up happening was that her mother realized that she was getting into me, and that I was interested in maybe doing something with her. And then all of a sudden, she wasn't in that store anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I think that the reason that happened is because I think her mother took her out of that store. I think that's what happened. I think either she quit, she either got in an argument with her mother, or she just left that store, or she sent her to a different store. Because I mean, listen now, somebody might say, "Dude, man, maybe you give yourself too much credit." You know what I'm saying? Maybe it ain't like that. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, y'all can say whatever you want, but I would say that the mother was a hater on the down low because I could see it in her face when I would come in there once in a while when her daughter wasn't there. I've been around. I've been alive long enough to know and to look at the telltale signs. All right, And I think her mother probably told her, "Oh, he's too old for you," blah 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 blah, all sort of stuff. But I think what it really comes down to, a lot of these Gen X women have been failures at relationships. Let's just be real. They've been failures at relationships, and basically, rather than any of them actually take accountability for maybe some of the bad lessons they got, they're gonna pass. They're gonna still go and then pass that. And the worst part about it is a lot of these Gen X women, they try to sleep with the guys that are their daughter's age. Okay, that's how messed up they are. All right, they're sleeping with the dudes that's their daughter's age. So hell, half the time some of them may be competing for the guys, the same guys, damn near. I mean, that's how ridiculous some of these Gen X women have gotten. Look at even these celebrity Gen X women. You can name them, and look at these Gen X women and look at where they are relationship wise. You can name what Vivica Fox. Hell, let's not even go that far. Let's look at some of these Gen X celebrities. Look where they are. Lisa Ray. Hell, you can name a lot of the white ones too. All right, you want to get technical about it, but then look at the reality. Okay, let's look at hell, even some celebrity mothers. Let's look at Steph Curry's mother. All right, let's look at LeBron James' mother. Right, let's look at Larsa Pippen. Okay, Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, whatever you want to call her, is messing around with Michael Jordan's son, Marcus. Look at the kind of stuff they're doing. I mean, they don't care about embarrassing their families or nothing. So I'm just letting some of you Gen Z women just realize that you wanna. I'm not saying go argue with your mother, all right, but I'm saying be mindful. Be mindful of the information that you're getting, because a lot of women in general don't really tell other women the truth. They don't. They're too busy trying to, make excuses for their losses in life. That's what they're doing. That's what a lot of them are doing. It's not me. Don't trust no man. Don't trust this. Don't do this. Don't do that. Everything that probably would have helped them, but nope. They got too much pride. They got too much mouth. They got too much ego. And they don't want, and the reality is, and it's sad to say, most women don't want you to figure this out. Most of them don't want you to figure it out. Because you know why? Because women seem to be intrinsically jealous of each other in some of the worst ways. They will give their friends the worst relationship advice. And the thing is, they'll try to shame them into going along with, that's why they got terms like pick me and all this other nonsense, because they want you to fall in line with their failures, because guess what? Misery likes company. And at the end of the day, if you, use some logic, do your research. If your mother's telling you how bad it is out there, you know what? Just think that maybe the reality is, your mother's not. Again, no one deserves to be on a pedestal, not even your parents. All of us fall far from being perfect. None of us are, including your own parents. Remember that. When you're a child, you look up to your parents. Well, that's the idea. But when you get to a certain age, you need to realize, just be honest with yourself. You still love your parents, but that don't make them perfect. They don't mean that they gave you all the best advice in life, because sometimes they didn't. And a lot of times you have some very, very old people out here that still haven't learned their lesson, because they're that bullheaded and stubborn and egotistical that they still just want to do what they do. Listen, I know my mother's 81 years old, and she is a pre-boomer, basically. She's barely born in the silent generation, but she's basically a boomer. And in some of the worst ways too, let me tell you. And you know what? She still got some of those same selfish, childish attributes that I've had since growing up. She has not changed, not one bit. So don't think for a second that just because somebody lived a long time does not mean that they're the best people to get information from, or that they're actually, what you become an adult, what you got to do? You got to take and make the decision that's best for you, not what's best for everybody else, not what's best for every female. What's best for you? What type of relationship works best for you? What do you value in that relationship? Okay, here's a prime example. There's women out here that don't necessarily care as much about a man sleeping with another woman than their relationship, as long as they're not bringing no diseases or any new children in a lot of cases, right? Because, there may be a situation where, like, you know what, that doesn't really bother me. He's still with me in the long run. There's women that feel that way, but guess what? Other women will tell them, girl, you should need to have more respect for yourself. Well, guess what? She's making that decision. She's respecting herself. Okay? Who are you to say what? And that's another thing, too, this whole quote unquote term respect. It gets twisted and turned into whatever somebody wants it to mean a lot of times. And it gets put on other people that this is what you should see respect as. No, what you need to do is understand that, guess what? You got to look around you and look at the women that's around you. Don't go by what they say. Look at their lives. Look at what they do. A lot of them haven't had any kids, or they're alone, or the kids can't stand to have time. They're out here running the streets. They're dating different guys. They still can't nail nobody down. They're doing all kinds of stuff. So don't go by what they say. Look at their actions. Look at their lives. These women will tell you, this guy, he should treat this way. Most of them are single. They're perpetually single. Or they're sleeping with a married man, half of them. So why do you want to listen to those women? If anything, you can see that they're not winning. And what you need to do is concern yourself. That's the whole thing of, like, even look with the Simone Biles situation with her husband. These folks get mad because this man dared to say that he was a prize. Meantime, Simone Biles got a problem with it, but a lot of these other women got a problem with it. And they think she should have a problem with it because they do. Okay? But again, think for yourself. And if you want to be happy, I hate to tell you, you may have to sometime ignore people in your own family. You might. You just might have to. You might have to say, look, stay out of it. It's my life. I have to live with the decisions I make. If I don't, I'll learn from it and I'll change course. But don't let them use their life as an example, because a lot of them didn't make the best decision and they don't have enough couth to admit it. They're too busy never wanting to be wrong and always trying to deflect on everybody else. It's everybody's fault but they're wrong. So, yeah, if you want to date a person and that person works out for you, regardless of what age they are, especially as a man, since a man can still have kids, you might have a lot more maturity, a lot more wisdom from that man. Okay, but at the end of the day, your mama don't want to see if you know what that does. Because think about it this way. That means your mama's going to see you have something that she never had in her own life. And whether she alive and want to admit it or not, it pisses me the hell off. I'm out.